KPU plans to hold debate of the presidential and vice presidential candidate not only in Jakarta but outside Jakarta. Details are next in our Road to Ballot segment. Nearing 2024 elections, the public's active participation, including young voters, is needed so a successful general elections could be achieved. TVRI World reporter Aryo Bagus will take you to see from the perspective of these young voters on next year's election from the city dubbed as the country's city of students, Yogyakarta.
In the next few months, the 2024 general elections for both presidential and legislative election will be conducted in Indonesia. According to the data in Yogyakarta Special Region, more than 45% of the voters is young voters. Regarding to that, what is young voters' perspective about political dynamics in Indonesia?
Young voters consist of millennial generation aged 25 to 39 and Z generation aged 17 to 24. Based on the permanent voter list data released by the General Election Commission or KPU of Yogyakarta Special Region, as per July 2023, young voters for the next year's election day reached more than 1 million, out of 2.8 million voters in total. With the number, active participation from youth is indeed required so that the democracy process will run smoothly. The thing is, are they planning to participate on the election day?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I will definitely participate as as people who owns citizen ID. When you start getting the ID, you have the responsibility, you have the right to choose on who is going to be your next president.
And our 5 minutes changes our 5 years.
My preparation maybe like find out about the candidate and then make a choice.
And also, before I participate in this election day, I already did some survey to candidate, so I could make sure my choice is better one.
Of course, I will do some research, like from watching some news from YouTube, from Instagram, and websites.
Yes, those are also the sources that I would consider to be my source. And another thing is actually talking with my family members or friends or other people in a more healthy kind of conversation, so that we can exchange information, so that I can know the pros and cons of his opinions and he can know my opinion.
How do I say about the political dynamics in Indonesia? I think it's like the wave of the sea, because there are many things that the vice president or the president, the candidate, is trying to do to gain the most vote that they can.
Oh yeah, it's pretty interesting for me.
Yes, and it's quite intriguing because it's getting closer to the election day, so the candidate starts to give their programs, vision and mission to the people of Indonesia. And I think as young voters or the first timers of the voters, we should analyze of the programs of each candidates.
And also in the internet there are some news, and the news are not all trustworthy, so we have to dig the right information and from the right platform so that we don't get trapped in the hoax.
Oh yeah, and as Vina said, the young generations are the main market of tomorrow's election. So I'm interested to see like how the candidates will promote their campaign to us. Okay.
Yes, I also think about the candidates right now as more of a battle of strategies instead of a battle of power. And another thing is because we are now reaching an age of technology. Now, other than us have to adapt to the technologies that come now, they also have to make more programs that will affect the continuation of the success of our own country. And that is an interesting topic for me.
Reflect on the previous election. Young voters become one of the most priority groups, which their votes are contested by the election contestants. It means young voters should be politically literate in participating on the election day.
Pak Takdir, reflect on 2019 election where participation of the young voters increased compared to the previous election, which is 2014 election.
Yes.
What to expect from young voters' participation on the next election?
Okay. Political pendulum today is on the young generation side. Why? Because of the number of the voters, more than 56% of the total vote. It is about 113 million. It means that they will make a new history here. They can do something that very influential to their future. In this moment, the meaning of representation is no longer interpreted with the traditional notion. But in traditional notion, traditional representation means refer to a primordial group or social group. But today, it is about the senior citizenship and the young generation. So, the young generation need a representation in the national political stage or level. It is both in legislative and also in executive.
Okay, so you mentioned about 56%, if I'm not mistaken. The young voters will be expected to be participate in the next election. So, in your perspective, how do you see their their knowledge and then their perspective in terms of their seeing political dynamics in Indonesia?
Yeah, that is the challenge. The challenge is about the ripeness and political maturity of the young generation. Because if senior citizen try to see the political behavior from the young generation, they worry. What about this political action? But from the young generation side, the political behavior from the senior politician, it is kind of boring. It is so oldest mode of the political style. So today, when we understand a political behavior from the young generation, we should enter their world like Twitter, like social media, I mean. So it is very dynamic, and they need a new new vision from the senior politician so they can choose you as a candidate.
Okay, let's talk about political literacy of the young voters. In your perspective, are they considered politically ready to give their vote? Because one voice matters for our country.
I do believe that optimistically they will able to think and act appropriately to provide political choices for the better future. And I believe that all of the students here, for example, they ready to join in the general election. Yes.
Okay. Lastly, sir, do you have any kind of advices to the young voters in preparing the election next February?
I see. This is your era. This is your moment to decide your young people history. So please be careful and never reckless on your choices, because your choices will lead your history and your future. I believe that you want to do your best to choose your candidate.
Okay. As a city of students, Yogyakarta is also a home for students who come from outside Yogyakarta, who cannot go